Here we are coming up to the first boss. Oh, I've been put to sleep. Oh man, people are taking damage. Oh wait, I've got Will of Forsaken. I can get out of sleep. Welcome, friends and foes. Today marks a huge milestone in a healer's journey. It is time for us to face our first dungeon with real mechanics. Wailing Caverns. We'll be teaming up with members from our community guild, surviving the chaos of Hardcore WoW together, all the while making our corner of the world a little bit brighter, one healing spell at a time. Let's see if we make it out alive. To start out today, we have a guild-only boss gauntlet of Rage Fire Chasm. The guild has been growing at a fantastic rate, and the community we're building has astonished me so far. Thank you for everyone's support in terms of joining the guild, joining the Discord, watching, liking, comment, subscribing, all of those wonderful things on the videos. It really does help us in our mission to heal the world one spell at a time and reach just one more person with everything that you guys do. So, jumping in here, we are just going to highlight the bosses. Not too much happens during this run of Rage Fire Chasm. I will say that we are slightly over leveled for the dungeon at the moment, but first boss goes down, or his ads go down without any issue. You can see here I'm practically just landing because we're not taking too much damage. And he dies there, and that's us, all clear of him. Yeah, you can see here that we're level 19, which is usually too high, but the guild needed a healer and I wanted to help. Once again, we wanted to make sure that nobody got flung off the edge, as we tanked him at the edge. There's an ad, but we've got a very quick polymorph that gets put on, and yeah, we're doing really well. Really smooth run, but this is the boss that I really wanted to highlight when we came in, as we did a really good pull. We only pulled 2 of them, and sometimes he can hit hard with his damage over time abilities. You can see here that I'm using Healbot as an add-on to be able to help me, but this is why we get a big upgrade. Our new robes, we do win them as well. My dad is in the party. He's playing one of the mages. We have 2 mages, and I win the robes over both of them. Now, Dad is not playing a self-found character, so he can just buy things off the auction house. But with this, we are coming to the end of our Rage Fire Chasm run. Nice and easy. It was a good time for everyone. So, unfortunately, one of our mages had to go away. His child woke up, so we took a little screenshot as we exited. But we are a man down because of that. Moving on, we head back to the barns to do some questing. Rather a long stretch of killing quillboars. We are particularly looking for one upgrade to our belt. I think at the moment we've got a +4 intellect belt, and this one is +3 stam, so gives us 6 stats instead of 4, and we're only losing 1 intellect. So much worth it upgrade. But these guys, they're about level with us, and that can make it slightly more challenging. As we go into a slight montage here, of me killing them on my own. Just collecting those tusks there, you can see. That not all of them drop them, but sometimes you get a couple. So we do need 60 in total. And it's about this time when we're fighting one of the geomancers that I have a close call, actually. We are fighting him away, just wandering the priest way, as always, and he smacks us, bringing us down to 60% health. I get a little bit scared there, so I end up talking to somebody in the guild, and one of our guildies is going to come over and do the quest with us. Now, he is a level 17 rogue, so he's a little low for this quest, in all honesty, and as I'm making my way over to him, he has auto run on, and you can see here that his health is starting to go down. He's in combat, and he seems to be struggling. As I get over there, trying to heal him up, he does use a pot, but I think I had him safe and sound. So we help him find Mancrick's wife, just over here, and pick the body, and make sure that this Planestrider doesn't attack him while he's doing it. And then me and him go back to collecting the tusks for this belt upgrade that we want. Once again, this is one of my favourite things about WoW Classic, is just being able to, 3 stamina, 3 intellect. Just being able to group up with people and have it as such a social game is incredible. Now, with the two of us, we don't run into many issues while we're getting these Quillboar tusks. You can see here that this priest pulls one, and I pull it off of him because he's accidentally pulled another one, and pulling 2 mobs if you're level with them can be quite dangerous. So me and our fellow guildie are there being able to save this priest. Potentially he would have been in a bad spot. Later on, we're over the other side now. We do have this close call. We're ready to take on this geomancer again after our last close call with these guys. Trying to be careful, use line of sight. Turns out that that hut is not a solid object, so I decide to just duke it out. What I don't notice is that the rogue has also pulled, so we're a 2v2 instead of fighting 2v1. Luckily I get out unscathed, and so does the rogue. So with that we go back to killing, and really finishing up this quest. We go and hand it in, and we prepare for the main highlight of today. You can see there I've got quite a lot of woolen cloth, which is fantastic. We start making bigger bags, we can make 8 slots with that, and we've got quite a lot of these shards, so we do hand them in for a temporary buff, but it doesn't really help us, as most of them only last 5 or 10 minutes. Good if you're in the area, but not essential otherwise. So the main highlight of today's episode, and what most of it's going to be about, will be us doing our first run of Wailing Caverns. An exciting dungeon for us, as there are some fantastic quest rewards, particularly this staff here, Crescent Staff. Very famous. Warriors and hunters and everyone basically uses this staff that can, because it hits very hard. We won't be using it to smack foes, we will be using it as a stat stick, being able to give us more mana, more health, and more regen on that mana. So, fantastic upgrade for us. Unfortunately, we've already got the blue staff, that we're going to use up until getting the new one. So it's not as big of an upgrade as it could be, but it's still a fantastic upgrade nonetheless. You can see here that we are making our way over to the Wailing Caverns. This again is a full guild run. My first time healing Wailing Caverns, a full guild run, so quite excited regarding that. There are a couple of us on Discord for communication's sake, just making sure that we are safe. So as we make our way into the dungeon just here, I have to say I think my favourite tanks tend to be druids. They seem to take slightly less damage or be slightly less gear dependent. Warriors are fantastic. They are the pinnacle of tanking, particularly in the higher levels, but I find that low level warriors are quite hard to heal from the limited healing experience that I've done. So yeah, if you disagree though, please do let me know down in the comments. Again, I have a very limited pool maybe of experience. Maybe I'm doing something wrong when I'm healing a warrior, or maybe it is that warriors are just that gear dependent. Making our way to the dungeon, I would like to take a second to say how proud I am of the community that we're building, and the kindness and the collaboration that we are putting out into the world. It fills me with so much passion and joy in my everyday life. It's doing so much good for the world as well. I was reading a literature review research paper, which I will leave down in the comments for anyone interested, and it was talking about the effects of gaming on particularly anxiety and depression. And the paper was hosted on the National Library of Medicine, but what it suggested was that action, multiplayer and role-playing games help improve pro-social behaviours, emotional regulation, goal achievement, mood repair and anxiety. So not only being able to lessen the impact of depressive traits or anxiety traits, but being able to help you build that resilience moving forward through connection. Last time we talked about, community against isolation, and I think that speaks to a lot of this. There were some games that it highlighted in the paper that I thought were of note, particularly Nintendo games on the Wii, any exercise games like Wii Sports or Wii Fit or Just Dance were some examples, along with Portal 2, one of my all-time favourite games personally, and Peggle, which is a fantastic relaxing game. The paper talked about how being in a flow state can really help you alleviate that anxiety and depression. So there you go. If you ever need an excuse to game, there will be one down in the comments there. Obviously, as always, I recommend if you are feeling particularly low, or if you are struggling, do reach out to people. Gaming can be a dangerous thing, everything in moderation. Being too much gaming and getting addicted to gaming can be just as detrimental to your life as playing video games and connecting with those people. But anyway, we are into the dungeon just now, and we have some things that we really need to be worried of in here. Some very scary things can happen, particularly the monsters in here have some abilities. The ectoplasm that we're killing there can clone. The blue raptors do a screech that pulls other other raptors in the area. And then all of the casters in the guild, all the humanoid casters, they can both heal and they can put people to sleep. Now, I would say that we have a pretty good team composition for it. We have 2 rogues who both have kick, which is an interrupt, allowing us to interrupt any heals and any sleeps, as long as our rogues are paying attention. And we have our druid here, who is our tank. And as we approach the first boss, we're going to just take this raptor first. I'm particularly worried about this first boss, as she has Thorn's ability. So anyone that's hitting her with fast, dual-wielding weapons will take a lot more damage. And you'll see that on both of the rogues here. Their health is going down seamlessly at the same time, or seemingly at the same time, but she goes down even quicker, and they're nice and safe. Though you can see from my mana bar, it was quite an intensive fight. Yeah, quite an intensive fight for sure. But I knew that going into the fight, which is good. I think not being aware of these mechanics is usually what can surprise and cause things to go wrong. So, we're doing good. We're quite low on mana at this point. I would have liked to have had a drink, but we're going to try and last hit. We did not get the last hit, so we'll just take a little drink here. Once again, if you would like to join the community that we are building, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Alternatively, you can join the Discord, and you are more than welcome to join the guild as well. If you do play Hardcore WoW, we are on Doomhowl on the NA servers, and we are on the Horde side faction. If you are, we would love to welcome you with open arms, and we'd love all the help that we can to make our corner of the world just a little bit brighter. Killing these raptors here. Let's see, it's going okay. There's not a blue one that's calling anything over. So, one of the things we're really looking for when we were picking up quests, there's a quest above the dungeon that is for Deviate Heights, which all the beasts in here can drop. And essentially, one of the quest rewards is a 10-slot bag, which is incredible. Big upgrade to our spaces. Down in the bottom right-hand corner at the moment, you can see our bag slots. We have 21 spaces, but we have our normal backpack, then 3 8-slot backpacks. And a 6-slot bag as well. So getting that 10 slot would be incredible. So we'll just have to hope and pray that we can get all the deviate heights. You do need 20, and there is not enough for everyone to get all of theirs in one run. You can see here that we got hit by lightning. We're not taking too much damage though with the screams. This has been a chain pull after a chain pull, so it can get very difficult, very dangerous very quickly. And you can see that the druids cast lightning bolts at people, so yeah. We're just going to drop down here. We do this in different order from what I'm used to. I'm used to going the other way, but we will be killing as we're going through here. As we are leveling, my talents are 5 points in Spirit Tap, 5 points in the Wand specialization. I am then going into 3 points in Improved Shield and 2 points in Reduced Threat. In that last fight, it's actually a good example. The last big fight that we did, it's a good example of the threat modifiers. When we're healing, we will pull threat off of things that the tank hasn't hit, which is why we got hit by a lightning bolt in that last chain pull of the druids. I think I'm fixing some macros here. Or just double checking what ranks everything is on. And you can see just now I'm not up or down casting quite as much. I have a big cast and a small cast. The big cast is rank 3 lesser heal, and then the small cast is rank 1. It's just a little top. I think I might start using rank 2 there, just to save some mana, but to give a little bit of a bigger heal. With my talents, after I have picked up the shield and the threat, I'm thinking of going Inner Focus for a 3-minute offensive or defensive cooldown. Being able to cast a spell with it cost no mana is really good for healing a big tank if you know that there's going to be a lot of damage coming towards him, as well as 3 points in meditation, which is going to be fantastic because it lets our mana regen up to 15% in combat, or continue regenning it at a rate of 15% in combat. So that's going to really help us sustain during longer fights. We have an interesting pool here where there are 3 shamblers all stacked on top of each other, but it turns out I think there's only 2 of them. It did look like 3. Oh, you can see the third one is walking up on top of it. So these shamblers do hit hard. They're not something I'm the most scared about in dungeon. What I'm most scared about is probably the big shambler boss at the end, as well as the little plants as we're going through. The non-elite monsters in this dungeon tend to hit just as hard as elite monsters do, so they are particularly scary. I'm unsure if it's just this dungeon with it being low level, or if all dungeons, when you get normal mobs, they hit just as hard, they just die much quicker. Someone will have to let me know if you guys do know, but I'm aware that the plants hit very hard, so I'll be keeping my eye out to make sure. And again, we're making sure that our rogues who are on comms at the moment are kicking any sleeps and any healing as well. The way the sleep targeting works is it tends to go to the second highest threat, so the person that has the highest threat is usually the tank, and then the second highest, sometimes it can be the healer, sometimes it can be the DPS, usually it's one of the DPS. You can see here that the hunter was top in that last fight, though it's disappeared and been covered by the marker. So we'll keep an eye out on it on the next fight there. So, making our way up, here are our first taste of these deviate lashers. Again, you're going to see me put renew on people. Renew has been... I've been told that renew is the most cost-effective mana to healing that there is, which makes sense considering it's not healing all at once, it's healing over time. We are going to try and sneak past these, and unfortunately the rogue does get seen, backstabber. Nope. So I shield him, and me healing makes me get aggro. One thing to always do is try and run for the tank, but I know that my hunter and my rogue had me covered, so... Getting a little bit distracted with my own health, I do let the tank get a little bit lower than I would have liked, but we managed to pick it up and everyone stays alive, so a little bit harder of a pull, just because our tank didn't really think that he was going to pull all of it, so a little bit bigger than we first expected. We all survived, and we take a little bit of a drink just for some solace. Making our way around, there is one big upgrade that we could get inside the dungeon, which is from a rare mob. Fairy Dragon can drop us a new wand. But unfortunately, we do not check to see if it's up at the moment. Which is okay. In the future, I have my eyes set on an incredible wand. I kind of tab target to see if I can see it. I can't see it, unfortunately. Though I don't think I'm even in the right spot to be able to target it. Having to stay quite focused. I found healing's been really interesting so far. You have to both stay very alert, but you're also kind of at the mercy of your group. If they're moving quick, you have to move quick. If they're moving slower, you have to move slower. So your kind of cadence has to be in rhythm with them. It's the way I like to think of it. I think we're doing an okay job. I've had a couple of tanks message me afterwards and say, you did really well, you know, thanks for... Yeah, I wouldn't have been able to tell this was your first time healing, and as such. So, if there are any healers watching, please feel free to let me know if you can spot any glaring flaws. The last thing that I would want is somebody to die on my watch. Speaking of which, we come to a boss here, and we just kind of go in. I've seen some groups break down this boss and be a little bit more careful. Some saps, some polymorphs, and such traps, but we are kind of all over at the moment. Damage is split quite equally between the three of them. My mana is about half, so we're doing okay. We pull a pat behind us as well. This is quite a messy pool, actually. But most of the damage is on the tank. The healer is taking, or the hunter is taking a little bit, but he's okay. I think it's more of his pet that's being focused on. And we seem to be alright. Going down to around 20% mana, which is quite impressive considering Again, we didn't expect to have multiple things all fighting at the same time. We don't even stop to have a drink, we just go on. To be fair, there's only 2 of them here, so it's not the most dangerous pool. But if more things pull, then it could get a little bit more dangerous, just like that. What's nice about it being a pat is that the damage is kind of staggered, but again, we went in, we only had maybe 40, 50, maybe slightly more mana than that, but we do get a lucky spirit tap proc, so our mana probably looks better after that fight than it did when we went into it. We pick it up nice and easy, but could have been avoided and split up. In the next area that we are, these blue dreadfangs, and they're called the blue flying hydra things. They're good because we need them for our quests, our deviant hides, as well as one of the other deviant eradication quests. However, they do have a fear ability, which means that people can get feared, and you might see the odd person sprint in a random direction. Particularly, this can be very, very dangerous when we are talking in the group setting. If we haven't cleared everything and somebody runs into another big group, then that can cause a lot of issues. So this is quite a good. I would say that this is quite a good dungeon to teach you some mechanics quite early on, and yeah, to make sure that you're alert. There have been quite a lot of hardcore death moments in this dungeon. It's kind of your first taste of, if you're not paying attention, something can go drastically wrong. But also, it's not too difficult, I would say. As long as you're paying attention. That's the main thing. I'm yet to see anybody go and sprint yet, so they must be really good at being able to cancel it, potentially. Undead, each race has their own racial ability. Undeads have the will of the Forsaken, which you saw in the intro. It can break you out of charms, fears, and sleeps. It's on a 2-minute cooldown, so if the worst thing should happen, that we get put to sleep, we will be able to cancel that out once with World of the Forsaken, which is a really nice benefit. It keeps us a little bit safer, but also if we get feared, then we can snap out of it. So we're just coming up to, I think this boss's name is Scum. The big lizard in the cage here is Scum. S-K-U-M. As far as I know, he has 2 drops. One is dagger that the rogues or the hunter might want, potentially. Or what the big ticket item is would be the cloak. I think it's 6 agility, 2 stamina cloak. It's a very, very good cloak for anyone that requires agility. And it drops. We pass on that, obviously, we don't need it. But one of the rogues or the hunter, or even the druid could probably make really good use on that. The hunter passes, and sneaky wins it, which is incredible. It's nice to see the guild and people that we're traveling with get stronger with us through our combined efforts there. A big upgrade for sure for sneaky. So we have more of these plants. Weirdly, these plants, you'll see that some monsters pull others of the same type. Particularly the plants will pull the other plants, even if you just pull one. But you also have this is quite but yes, the plants don't pull the humans weirdly, so there's a little bit of difference. You can see here that we pulled aggro off of the dread scale slightly, and the guy runs away into another 2, so we have to switch on here. We have a lot of... we just killed a couple of elites. It's really unfortunate. We were trying to avoid those ones, but everything looks to be going smoothly at the moment. Just top up the druid's health every now and then. Try and wand down these guys. Yeah. This has to be one of the smoothest runs of Wailing Caverns so far. Now, that is potentially a jinx, but it seems to be going really smoothly at the moment. I think having everyone in the guild, I think that there's a secret buff that Blizzard gives you. If everybody is in the same guild when you go into a dungeon, you are 15% more likely to have nothing go wrong. Because, yeah, you go guildies, everybody's paying a little bit more attention, or is a little bit more ready to pick up somebody else's slack, potentially, rather than having random people. Yeah, you can see that we're level 20 at the moment. Just we leveled doing the crowbar stuff earlier, and our druid lets us know that his chest piece is actually 5 durability, so that's quite stressful. If his chest breaks, then it's gonna mean that he takes a lot more damage. It's likely went yellow or red at the moment for him, which is how he knows that it's lower. So we ask him if he wants to go and repair to make sure that he's not taking more damage, and he just says, after this boss, which is nice. Yeah. This pool we have ectoplasm, and we have dreadfang as well. Just staying back. And wanding it down. That could have went potentially badly if somebody got feared into the other's back the way, or alternatively over this jump. I've seen that jump kill people. I don't think I've ever failed it myself, however. So there we are, making our way through just now. We line of sight this caster and pull a little. If you hit the caster, it pulls all the plants, but if you hit the plants, it shouldn't pull a caster, I think is how it works. You can see that one of the rogues gets slept there. Make our way round. Now, if you watch the rogue's health here, it goes very, very low, very, very quick. Put a shield on him, but I'm not sure why he had a couple of hits that just took him straight out, essentially. I had to pay attention there. It's a bit messy of a fight. But we're doing okay. We're kind of split up. But the damage is also split up, so Renew kind of keeps everybody topped up. One of the things that I'm forgetting to do at the moment as a healer, I find, is if I take damage, I don't want to use my mana to be able to heal myself. I'd rather focus on, I'd rather focus on healing others, because I don't want other people to die. So there's a chance that ToddSir goes down by his own healing selflessness. But obviously if your healer goes out before you do, one, something's probably went wrong, but two, you're probably not making it out yourself unless you have a second backup healer. That big tree there is someone I'm worried for, as there is a lot of hardcore clips where people have died killing him, so we'll see. We have another boss before that, just here, which is quite nice, but we'll have to kill him first. We're just going to pick off his close allies just before we go in. With the tank's armor being so low, we have a little conversation to see if the armor of the Fang can be swapped about between our members so that he has a backup that might give him a nice amount of armor without his breaking, essentially. This boss is pretty simple. We just smack him. It's called tank and spank in the industry. However, most bosses kind of work like that early on. Some will have minor mechanics that you need to do. Here we are picking up one of the serpent blooms. We've only got one at the moment, so now we're up to two. I've been finding it hard to pick up quest items like that and keep up with the healing, so we do find that the hunter has the armor of the Fang. However, he is self-found, so he cannot trade it, unfortunately, which means that we can't even have a backup armor for the druid, which is unfortunate, potentially. I would not want to be tanking this boss particularly. I would not like to tank this boss without full armor, personally. So, here we go. One of the scariest fights in here. This big tree hits very hard. He's taking about 30% of, maybe 15 to 30% of the tank's health per smack. But we're just trying to pace out our heals. Just there, you can see that everybody else kind of got hit by entangling roots, but nice and easily he is out. He does drop a blue staff with lots of spirit, which potentially could be good for a priest. I believe that spirit is very useful for priests as they get so much mana back while they're fighting, but the crescent staff is going to be our main focus later on. So While we're walking back here, we actually go up to the beginning again, and while we're up there, the druid runs back to go and repair his gear. But don't worry, you guys don't have to watch that. With the power of some video editing, there's going to be a slight cut in 3, 2, 1. Whoa! And now we're on top, jumping down. Druid is back, and after about 10 to 15 minutes or so, we are back on the hunt for the druids of the Fang. Moving forward, these early levels, each dungeon kind of has a theme. This is obviously a druid theme, with lots of beasts. What actually is happening is that there's one druid who's having a nightmare that's conjuring all of these beasts, which is kind of cool. You see him quite near the end of the dungeon, in the last room. We're here to clear out his nightmare and try and wake him. But the themes of the dungeons tend to have some kind of loot associated to them as well, slightly, particularly this one, one of our next ones, which is going to be Shadowfang Keep. I would say that this dungeon is very much leather wearer's dungeon. You get a lot of leather gear. All of the Druid of the Fang is leather. Lots of agility stuff with the cloak, with the dagger. You can get leather wearers like agility. So this is usually quite a big incentive for hunters, druids, rogues. There's a really nice bow that can drop in this dungeon called Venom Strike. Sadly it did not drop for a hunter this go about, but yeah, we're going through it. One of the next dungeons that we'll be taking on is Shadowfang Keep. This is very much a caster's dungeon, so while there are items that can drop for any class in both of these, this is quite a scary pool. Because of the pillars, we've had to kind of move around to make sure that we can get line of sight on people. You can see here that I was trying to heal Sneaky, but it wouldn't go off because he was too low and I couldn't see him properly. But yes, while there might be one kind of class or type of armor wearer that really benefits from a certain dungeon, the XP, the quest rewards, and there are some drops for every class. The living root staff that we got, there's a shield that's really good, or alright in here that can drop as well. There's a few things. There's a mace that can drop as well, Stinging Viper, which is quite good for rogues, but also warriors or paladins and the such. So it's a good dungeon, I would say. I like this dungeon personally, though I used to get lost in it a lot. It's not too difficult not to get lost now, but it is one of those ones that I don't know my lefts from my rights in here. I just kind of walk straight and hope for the best. So as we're making it through, we do pass on the chest because, well, Todd doesn't mind if others get the goodies. You can see that there are more snakes here who don't hit as hard as the plants, but they still hit fairly hard. Usually the DPS focuses them down first, as you can see there. And then, yeah, lots of skinnable goods in here. As I start skinning something, our skinning is 1:18 here, so it's not too bad. Still a little lower than I would like, but it's not the hardest profession to level up for sure. Even if we have to go back, it's not going to be too bad. We'll try and get this serpent bloom, but apparently I can't loot it just now, so we'll give a heal and then we just leave it because there's no point in going back. Those gloves are much better than what we're wearing, so we'll need them. And we're the only cloth wearer in here, so that's quite nice. We're making decent time, I would say, going through here. I'm trying to remember to, if my DPS get hit, have aggro to just shield them, and then maybe put a renew on them afterwards. But to just shield them, because my shield, obviously, with the 15% extra strength in my shield from my talents as well, does make it much stronger, and gives them a lot of extra health, honestly. I think it's giving around 140 to 170 health, if I remember correctly, which is kind of cool, considering you can see that I've only got 577. Our low level rogue only has 400, so it's almost an extra quarter to his health. So it's quite a lot. It can keep people alive for a long time. Unfortunately, we cannot put it on traditional tanks, I would say. Druids and warriors do not want shield on them because it stops their rage being able to build up, and their rage is what they use to be able to hold the aggro and being able to use their abilities. They have to be hit and hit to get those abilities, so while it might save them, it makes it a lot harder for them as well. Yeah. Just going through here, killing our way through these vipers. It does not look like we're going to complete our Deviant Hide quest, which is a little shame. We'll have to come in and do another run at some point while we're leveling. I try and post weekly in the Hardcore Reddit subposts or subpage. Just trying to get some advice and stuff like that in there. And my the last post that we put up got 29.7 thousand views, 49 responses and 22 upvotes, which is incredible. Thank you for anyone that has made it from the Reddit over here or into the guild. It's fantastic, honestly, to see all the support and the such. The post was in regards to strong gear pieces for priest, things to keep out my eyes for and things to aim for. The most universal thing was wands, particularly the gravestone scepter from Black Fathom Depths, which we will be doing as soon as we are level 2, essentially. As soon as it's safe for us to go and heal it, that is what we're going to be doing. I think we'll do Shadowfang Keep first, and then we will move into Black Fathom Depths. Luckily that wand is a quest item, so it will be nice. I can't believe that we got very unlucky and 2 of the bosses dropped their male upgrades. It's quite funny, if I'm honest. Yeah, it's quite funny because obviously they no one in here can wear mail, so it's a little unfortunate, if I'm honest. As we make our way back here, we're almost done the dungeon. We're going to talk to the druid at the beginning, and from there we are going to do the escort. I'm going to pick up the serpent bloom because I've got some time, though I can see that the tank is fighting at the moment. I think it must just be one elite. So we'll give him a quick renew, a little heal. Took a little bit more damage than I would have thought he would. Yeah. It's nice to see a hunter use a pet other than a bird. Birds have screech, which is really, really strong, but all hunters are, yeah. I mean, all hunters are strong because of their pet. Some pets are not created equally. The wolf abilities do not work properly, which is unfortunate. They're meant to help boost melee attack damage on the party. So we rebuff up. We've started the escort. I'm gonna go down. I think I'm gonna try and get a little drink. Yeah. Run ahead. You can see here I've started putting points in Power Ward Shield. My plan is to go along to the threat generation one, put some points in there, and then go down, get inner focus and meditation, and then move into the holy tree for extra crit strike with my holy spells, lower cast times, better increasing the person's armor when I critical strike them with a heal, some fantastic things. More damage with my holy spells. Obviously, it might not always be optimal, but I want to keep ToddSir kind of questing with holy spells, particularly, as I think that it makes more sense. He wants to heal the world one spell at a time. Me and the druid are trying to jump on these fires. Luckily these fires don't hurt us, but the escort will walk over here and summon some more folks. This is, believe it or not, sped up. It takes a very long time for him to it takes a very long time for him to walk through the dungeon. I'm glad that we have pre-cleared things, and it's nice to see the guild being like a little bit silly. You know, we're all just kind of hanging out waiting for this escort guy to come through, not overly worried. In this last room that we're coming up to, there are a few scary things. There's 4 or 5 of those snakes that you have to kill. I think it's 4. And then there's maybe 5, 6, 8. I want to say 8 oozes that you also have to kill. I was on that torch for a second. There we go. Aha. Ah, nice. Do some role playing, walking slow, and then I get bored of it, clearly. Tank goes back into combat. Just one ooze, so we're not overly worried. And we're coming to the end of the escort just now. You can see that the druid is dancing on this table, this altar. This is where the sleeping druid that's having the nightmares is. And as we try and cleanse his nightmare, the monsters will start spawning again. You can see here the serpents. Turns out it's only 3, not very scary. They are more spread out when they spawn in. But I have got a nice vantage point to be able to heal everyone. I think, yeah. All gonna die more or less the same. Perfectly stacked on top of the altar. Not that that's something that you need to do, but I find it funny. And in between these pools, I'm going to drink to try and get some mana back. I think that I would be more worried for this pool with all the oozes coming, as there is a lot of them. 1, 2, maybe it's only 5, 6, 7. Maybe it's only 7. You can see here I pull aggro, not to shield myself. The tank's taking a little bit of damage, but we're okay. Not a lot of damage overall. And with that, I'm going to try and drink again before the end boss of the dungeon comes in. Now, there are a few things that we would like from this end boss, particularly a ring, but he can also drop a mail chest that's pretty good, but again, none of us can wear mail, so unfortunately if he drops that, we are going to be we're going to be upset. Dangerous things to watch out for this boss. He has a sleep. As well as having mind control ability, where he turns one of the friendlies, or a terrify as well. But he turns a friendly against the team, which is quite scary if you have high level character and low level ones. But he doesn't even cast it here, so. Oh, and he does drop the ring, which is 3 stamina, 6 intellect, 3 spirit. Really, really good for our priest. We do remember to pick off of his corpse for the glowing shard, which is a level 24 quest, I want to say. You can start it at level 15 though. It's a pretty easy quest. We'll complete that in here as well. After running out, we took a little guild selfie, just to say well done, commemorate the moment, and then we go above the cave to hand in all of our quests. We do get an upgrade to our Greater Magic Wand. It is only a 0.1 damage upgrade, but it's better than nothing. So we'll take that, and we have to go all the way over to Ratchet to talk to somebody about that glowing shard, and then they tell us to go all the way on top of the hill to hand in this glowing shard. And they'll tell us to go to Thunderbluff to hand in, and that's where most of the quests hand in. We do get an upgrade to our shoulders from this quest. But as we are coming to the end of this episode, I would like to say thank you to anyone that has made it this far. Once again, feel free to join our community. We have Discord, which I'll leave in the description. If you play on this server and are on Horde, once again that's Doomhowl on NA. feel free to come and join us in the guild, come and do runs, be part of the adventure. But if neither applies to you, then a like, a comment, subscribe goes a really long way in order to help this content reach more people and help ToddSir heal the world one spell at a time. You can see here that we got our new staff, our new shoulders, and we are closing in on this chapter of ToddSir's adventure. Thank you all for watching.